title of the workshop is how to position yourself for executive and management role. My name is Eniola Peters, and I'm the CEO of Meg Consult. At Meg Consult, our focus is career development and HR consulting. For career development, we majorly focus on helping people package themselves like I usually like to say, partnering with individuals for career success. Anything career success means to you is what Meg Consult focuses on. We package your CV, your LinkedIn profile, train you. We do employability skills training for people that are for the unemployed graduates. We have career advancement training. This is a part of. This is a part of the career advancement training that we do, and today we're talking about positioning yourself for executive and management roles. And what actually happened that that informed this training is basically because of the need we have seen outside. Most times, people come to us to say, I'm looking for a job, or I've been working in this position for a very long time. I'm not improving. Things are not, looking up for me and all that. And then we see that it's probably because of maybe the way you've positioned yourself. Sometimes some of us enter organizations with the mind of just doing anyhow. By anyhow, I mean you're not interested, you're not taking ownership, you're not being a part of what's going on in the organization. Are we all still together? And can you see the screen that I am sharing? I'm trying to share my slides with you. Can you see it? Can you see it? You can drop a message if you can see it. Yes. So I'm trying to share the screen with you, yes, so that you can see. Yes, you can now see my screen. Awesome. Okay, great. So basically, what we're trying to do is help you. You've been on a level for so long and you want to move forward. You want to move from A to B. You want to move from A to Z. How do I move forward? What are the things that I need to do? How do I package myself? How do I package my LinkedIn, my CV to, capture all my essence, especially when, okay, so this happened, this was, a burden when this jackpot season came upon Nigeria and everyone was leaving the country, especially people that had the skills in quotes that organizations needed. Like for instance, banks were having issues because their top staffs were leaving. And there were people, in Nigeria that could still do these jobs, but they didn't know how to position themselves to get the jobs. They didn't know how to position themselves to actually fit in to that role. So they're just there, and then you hear a lot of, oh, help me do my CV in a way that once I apply for this role, I'll be, considered. Of course, we'll do the CV and collect our own money. But then I realized that it's not just about, packaging the CV. It's much more. It's much more like personal branding, belief in yourself, the spiritual aspect, and so much more that we'll be talking about today. So that's just the background of the need for this training, and I hope everyone here gets something out of today's training. Is that fine? All right, great. So we go right into it. How to position for management and executive training. So introduction, what is a management role? Management role refers to the mid-level and lower-level managers who are responsible for overseeing specific departments or teams within a company. They are responsible for executing the strategies set forth by the executives. Now, so you see, executive is more senior than managers, right? Great. So they're responsible for executing the strategies by set by the executives, and they're ensuring that their teams are meeting the company's goals and objectives. So managers are also responsible for managing their team's performance, developing and coaching employees, and ensuring that their department operates efficiently. Now, if I'm to ask anyone here, how many of us can tell me one major skills needed to be a manager? You can type it down, or you can, unmute yourself so it's more, I can hear you. But then, how many of us can tell us just one skills needed from what I just said now? What is one skill that is needed to be a manager? One major skill that is needed: leadership. Fantastic. Leadership, because you have people under you. So you need to learn how to lead people. Now, there's a major difference between being a leader and being a boss. I'm sure we hear that a lot. Oh, boss is just controlling and all that. And then a leader will show you the path that you should go and lead you, right? Thank you, Purity, for that. Who else wants to give you another skill that is needed to be a manager? Okay. So while nobody is talking, I'll go on. But when you change your mind, you can write it down in the chat room. Okay, great. So examples of managerial roles are department manager, a project manager, a team leader, operations manager, a sales manager. Now, a sales manager is responsible for managing a team of sales representatives, setting sales targets, and ensuring that their team is meeting those targets. They are also responsible for developing sales strategies and providing training and coaching to their team. Now, if you're called a sales manager, these are all the things that is expected of you. You have teams under you. It could be a team of 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 people. You are responsible for developing the sales strategies and providing training and coaching to their team. Now, as a sales manager, for instance, you're supposed to coach the people under you. You're supposed to train them. You are supposed to lead them to meet their set targets. That is what a sales manager does. For operations manager, an operations manager is responsible for managing the day-to-day operations of a company. Now, let's be real, right? They say in Nigeria, most times, a lot of times, you're in some roles. Okay, yeah, thank you for adding ability to delegate effectively, coordination, yes, and so much more, right? Leadership, mentorship, coaching, training, those are skills a manager needs now, because you have people under you. You need to train them, you need to coach them, you need to help them learn so that they can grow as well, not just be in the same path. Now, it's abused in Nigeria generally that they call literally anybody manager. You're an operations staff, but because you don't want to believe to yourself, you say, I'm an operations manager. And when it's time to go for an interview where you're being asked, what do you do as an operations manager? You're just looking like, okay, I handle the day-to-day operations of the organization. How do you handle it? Do you have people under you that you're controlling, or you are the one doing the running around? Now, that is the difference. A manager has a team under him or her. A staff doesn't have a team under. You are doing it. If you're doing it on your own, I'm sorry, you're not a manager. But if you have someone under you that you're coordinating, they are telling, this is what you need to do today, this is your target for the week, make sure toiletries are there, make sure that there's lunch, managing basically the operations. Oh, we need to deliver this, make sure that it is being delivered. An operations manager is not the one that will do the delivery. He will send his staff, his team member, to go and do the delivery. I hope we're together. I'm just trying to break it down that as managers, that is the role that you're expected to do. So if currently, wherever you are not leading a team in quotes, you're not yet a manager, and then you now hope to lead a team, then we're now talking about how to position to start leading a team. Is that clear? Are we together, everyone? All right, great, thank you. So moving on quickly, The meaning of executive roles. Executive roles typically refer to the highest level of management within a company. They are responsible for setting the overall direction and strategy of the company, making major decisions, and managing the organization's financial and operational performance. They are also typically responsible for communicating with stakeholders, investors, customers, and employees. Now, we always call them the C-suite guys. The C-suite guys, they always start with chief. They are the chief executive officers, the chief operating officer, the chief financial officer, chief marketing officer. Chief means they are like the king in an organization. Without them, decisions can't be made. And without them, strategies can't be concluded. Without them, major decisions can't be made. Without them, their financial and operational performance can't be made, because now these guys are the ones in charge of the organization. Depends on how big or small the organization is. We have the chief executive officer, and then a COO, and then a CFO, and then CMO, CTO, and CHR. And the reason we put officer there is because they are chief. They're like the first. They are the first people in the organization. They are the face of the organization. They are the ones that make standard decisions. So if the organization falls, it's their fault. If it rises, it's their fault. Do you understand? Great. So now, I want to be a manager. I want to move to executive roles. I want to start, being in charge of people. I want to be called, I want to call the shots. I want to do so many things. Do you have what it takes, to do these things? And that's why I'm going to say executives set the overall direction and strategy of the company, while managers oversees the day-to-day operations and ensure that their teams are working towards the company's goal. So there's a company's goal, and then it's like an hierarchy. So we have the team, we have the managers, and then we have the C-suits. So we have the C-suits C-suits instruct the managers, and the managers instruct the teams. So it goes, it's a level, which is very important, because in an organization, there's hierarchy. That for sanity, there has to be hierarchy. So yes, that hierarchy is there. Great. So moving on quickly. So once we have the hierarchy and we have knowledge of what we're looking for, then we move straight. How to position for this roles. As you strive towards your career goals, positioning yourself for executive and management roles is a critical step in your professional development. To be considered for such roles, you need to have a set of skills and experiences that demonstrate your ability to lead and manage others, make strategic decisions, and deliver results. Now, the first step, I feel, from my years of experience in HR consulting and career coaching, and helping people, move from team member or staff to mid-management, management, and executive levels, I have developed a few steps that can be taken to move to executive and managerial roles. The first step is, number one, to develop your leadership skills. I mean, someone mentioned here that one of the major skills is leadership, right? So now, one of the first steps is to develop your leadership skills. How do you develop your leadership skills? Executives and managers are expected to lead teams, right? So it is important to own your leadership skills. This includes things like communication. How clear are you in communicating? Delegating. How clear are you in delegating? Do you do everything yourself and you just boss people around? How clear are you in decision making? How clear are you in, conflict resolution? Let's talk about it. How clear are you in conflict resolution? How clear are you in decision making? When you have people around you, how do you delegate? Are you the one that takes charge, or you tell them, okay, A, do this, B, do this, then C, go about and do this. At the end of the day, everybody reports to me. Someone talk, Emmanuel,
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Okay, great. So, as I was saying, please, I want this to be very interactive. So as I'm asking the questions, I'm dropping the questions. You can please be responding on the chat group. So so I said, how good are you in delegating? You want to move up. So are you delegating? Are you leading people? Are you telling them what to do? Do you make decisions quickly, or you still need, validation from other people? Look for opportunities to take on leadership roles. Whatever your answer is, look for an opportunity to take on leadership roles in your current job or volunteer for leadership positions outside of work, in church, in with your friends, anywhere you find yourself. Try to get a leadership, position. Start by taking on leadership roles in your current job or volunteer work to gain experience. Attend leadership development programs and training sessions to further on your skills. Don't just say, oh, I'm not getting an opportunity in my organization, so because nobody is giving me an opportunity to lead, I'm not interested in leadership, developing my leadership skills. You can start by, going for a training. You can start by, setting up a team to lead them. And if people are, running away from you leading them, then you need to check yourself to be sure that you're not a bad leader or you're a bad person or everybody feels like you're a bad person. Do you understand? Step two is building a strong professional network. Now, how many of you are on LinkedIn? That's one professional network, social professional network that needs to be used. Are you on LinkedIn or you're just on LinkedIn? Now, there's a difference. If you're on LinkedIn, you're active, you're connecting with people, you're sharing stuff, you're sharing information, you're liaising with people, you're meeting people on a daily basis. That is how to build a strong network, professional network. Um, it's not just about being on a platform or going for events and all that. See, for instance, we started this. I said, everybody introduce yourselves, and a lot of people were quiet in the first place until much later that, that's why I started with, it's a professional event, so everybody should talk. You need to, you need to be outspoken. You need to develop, an outspoken skill. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing, but you need to be able to speak out to say, "Hi, my name is this. My name is that. I'm here for this. What do you do?" "Oh, I'm an HR man." I love how Agogo and Ogogo introduced themselves. It was so clear. Like, this is what I do. I'm hoping to, meet people and things like that, which is very important. We need to meet people. We need to be clear, stand tall, because building a professional network helps you. Number one, it helps you in advancing your career. When you attend industry events, physical or virtual, you should join professional organizations. You connect with people in your field on LinkedIn and connect with colleagues and mentors. You'll be able to open your mouth to talk. One of the major things a strong network does is it helps you to learn about job opportunities. It helps you to gain valuable insights and get recommendations. It helps you because, interestingly, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday, and we're talking about how it is so important to network. You might just meet someone that needs your services tomorrow. You don't know. So you introduce yourself and say, "Oh, my name is Daniela Peters, and I am a career catalyst. I'm a career coach." And then someday tomorrow, maybe a government parastatal needs someone that, they want to organize a career event. The first person that will come to your mind is Daniela. I've networked, so I am gaining. Do you understand? That is the essence of network. That's the essence of, professional networking. And it helps you to maintain regular contact with your network to keep your name top of mind, just like I just explained now. It is just simple. It's not only when you meet the people you feel they are useful for your next level. You don't know who is useful for your next level, to be honest. You don't know if the guy sitting beside you right now in the bus, or the guy sitting beside you in a taxi, or walking out together, or in church, or all the social gatherings. You don't know if the person sitting beside you is just who you need to move to your next level, right? It's not only when you see people like Dangote and all that, you want to go and shoot your shots. Dangote is not going to give you his personal number, right? You're just going to join one of the one of the people on queue to get his personal number. But you don't know if it's a cleaner that is going to take you to your next step. Those are the things that we see that makes us say it is very important to have it's very important for for professional networking. So if you are currently on LinkedIn, you need to deepen your work on LinkedIn, add content, follow people, make comments on posts, just so that your name will be seen. Don't there's no need to be humble. There's no humility in this thing. All right. Now, step 3, we talk about expanding your knowledge. Executive and management roles require a broad understanding of business and industry trends. Take courses or workshops to improve your knowledge, which is something like what you're doing here right now. And we know that at the end of today, you're going to definitely improve your knowledge of business, finance, and management. Read industry publications and attend conferences. Don't just stay at home or stay in your office and say, I'll be fine. You need to expand your knowledge. The next thing is you need to communicate effectively. It said that clear communication is crucial for executive and management roles. If you clear communications, you can have good decision-making skills if you communicate clearly, right? Not just doubting, and you'll be dilly-dallying and saying all whatnot. Clear, communicate effectively. Let people hear you. On Wednesday when we had the teaser session on Instagram, Jimmy said something that it's only those that speak that are heard. So if you're not speaking, clearly, if you're not making sounds, then you're not going to be heard. Everybody's just going to pass over you, and that's the end. Do you understand? So you need to speak and communicate clearly. Then the next step is demonstrate your value. Jimmy called it negotiate your experience. To position yourself for executive and management roles, you need to show that you can make a difference. You need to negotiate with them that this is what I can do. These are the things that I can do. Look for opportunities to take on challenging projects or spearhead new initiatives. Keep track of your accomplishments. It's very important, so that when you're selling yourself, I call it your proposition, your what's your selling point. When you're selling yourself, like, okay, so this is what I can do, this is what I have done, even though this is the opportunity that I have had, I've created this opportunity for myself, and you are clearly demonstrating your values. That way it's going to be easy to move on. Then the next step is focus on your results. Since you have started, what results do you have to show for all that you're doing? What results do you have to show? Focus on those things. Those are the things that is the result we want to see. What have you saved the organization? What impact have you made? What value have you added to the organization? Those are the things you need to focus on. Identify areas that you have made meaningful impact and focus your efforts there. Don't say, oh, I want to hustle and do other things. No. Focus on your results. Focus on the results. Then the next step is be adaptable. The business world is changing. Who knew that everybody was going to be on Zoom and Skype and everything is changing, working from home. To tell you that some companies now, executive and managers, are working directly from home. Everybody is virtual. You can be working, your company can be in America and you're in Nigeria, virtual. How adaptable are you? It's not just about saying this is how I am, this is what I can do. No. The world is constantly changing. So it's very important to be open to new ideas. You need to look for innovative ways to improve processes and be willing to change when necessary. Don't be hard on, don't say, oh, when I joined this organization, this is how they used to do. Why are they changing things? Why are you angry? They change things because it is only important. Why are you angry that they are changing things? They can change things anytime because the aim of an organization, the bottom line of any organization is to make money, make impact, and influence people. So if they have to change their, business plans, their business story because of the way the world is changing, then you need to be learning already to change as well. Don't restrict yourself. Don't restrict yourself to staying in one line. Then the next thing is be strategic. Executive and managers need to have a big picture. You need to have a big perspective and be able to think strategically. Practice this skill by analyzing complex situations, identifying potential solutions, look for opportunities to develop strategic plans for your current organization or volunteer work, and align your work with the overall goals of the organization. Demonstrate your ability to make strategic decisions. At any opportunity you have, try to demonstrate your ability to make strategic decisions. Any opportunity you have, try to demonstrate it. Don't say, oh, it's not my business. Like the live session I had with OPM yesterday, we're talking about it is your business. Take ownership when it's important. Just take ownership, right? Then the ninth one is build a strong personal brand. Who are you outside of your organization? Your personal brand is, if I go on Instagram, for instance, and I check your Instagram page, who are you there? What am I seeing? Am I seeing an executive person? Am I seeing a manager? Or am I seeing a random person? I mean, even though you say, oh, Instagram is social, TikTok is social, and all that, it's still your personal brand. It is who you are outside the organization. So if I am not seeing who I want in my organization on your social media, then I am not going to move you into an executive role because your personal brand needs to be aligned with the organizational brand. So you need, to work on your personal brand, the way you dress, your online presence, the way you present yourself, and the way you talk with others. You can't go for a social or a professional event and be insulting people and say you're laughing, or you get drunk and you're laughing out loud and you expect that the next day. That only happens in American films. I don't think it happens in real life. Do you understand? So build your personal brand. Next thing is have mentors. This is a very funny story because when I was working with Jimmy, literally everybody wanted him to be his mentor. But it's not possible. Hey God. How many people does want to mentor? You need to pick out your professional mentor. And if you like him, yeah, it might can be a role model. It's fine, but you can't mentor the whole world. You need to now look, okay, then being a professional mentor, it could be your boss, it could be someone you look up to that does a great thing and you like them to mentor you, to show you how it is done. When you have issues, a mentor is someone you can always go back to help you because they're actually very valuable resources for developing your career. Seek out mentors who have experience in executive and management roles. Seek out mentors that are already in that C-suite or in the leading people role that you feel that they are doing it a great way. You might have bosses that used to work with you before and they were doing a great job. You love them. So that means they're doing something good, right? Call them, tell them to be your mentor, your professional mentor now. Learn from their experiences and ask for feedback on your career goals and plans. There are some standard organizations that actually have mentors in the organization. So every team lead has a mentor. You have someone that you're going to talk to. You have someone that will show you what to do. It's better in an organization because it gives room for growth. So finally, seek feedback. Seek feedback from others. Both positive and constructive feedback is feedback. Use this feedback to improve your performance and build on your strength. Don't say, oh, because this person doesn't like me, that's why they rated me low in my KPI. No, take the feedback, sit down, analyze yourself, and say, okay, I think I need to work better on this. I need to do this. I need to do that. That is the feedback you need. And the constructive ones, when they tell you, oh, I remember when I was working in one organization and they rated me C, and I could swear that I was an A plus. Honestly, I was upset, but later I sat down and I'm like, okay, truthfully, right? I didn't, I didn't try really. I could have tried, but I didn't try. And I was expecting that they're supposed to give me A plus and all. So when I sat down to analyze it, I saw that okay, there are some things that I missed in my KPI. There are some things that I didn't do that I overlooked and all that. Even though I met the targets, I even exceeded the targets. All my clients were happy with me, good feedback and all that from them. But in the organization itself, there were some things that I didn't, do well. So yes, I took the feedback and I got better. The next, appraisal, I was, because I got my A, but not A plus. So at the end of the day, you still need to take the feedback. It is so important if you're going to move up to the executive and management role. And what's it called? Now, once you have done all of this, the next step is, um, that's my strength. Now, I'm going to my strength now, talking about your CV and your LinkedIn profile. I'm going to give you some steps to follow to package your CV and LinkedIn profile to position you for this type of roles. Because I get a lot of, oh, help me package my CV, help package my CV. You can do it yourself as well. But I mean, if you come to me, I'm not going to push you away. If you come, I'm going to push you away. It's important to present yourself in a professional and polished manner. You need to look put together, and it starts from your CV. Because now, these organizations you're trying to apply for, they don't know you. They don't know you. It's your CV they are seeing. It's your CV and your LinkedIn profile they are looking at first. So that will now give them an idea of who you are and all that. So please keep I think it's time to start writing your questions because I'm almost done. I mean, CV is just like 5 minutes so that Jim can join us. Now he's already in the class anyway. Okay. So the first step is to tailor your CV and LinkedIn profile to the job you want. By tailoring your CV, I don't mean lie. I don't mean exaggerate. I just mean you have read the job description that is, any job outline has a job description and it aligns with what you've done or what you're currently doing now. So you're supposed to fashion it, tailor it again to look like their job descriptions. For every organization, there are keywords. Use the keywords. Make sure your CV and LinkedIn profile highlight your relevant skills and experience relevant to the job you're trying to apply for. And then use the same keywords and phrases that appear in the job descriptions so that recruiters can find you easily. I mean, there are keywords for each role. There are keywords, so those are the keywords you need to find out. Then number two is focus on your achievements. I don't want to see your job description. I don't want to see your duties because for executive roles or for management roles, I'm not interested in I run the day-to-day activities. I am responsible for no. I want to see your achievement and your results. Write it out. At so and so organization, I managed a team of 12 people to achieve these goals, and this was the result. Those are the things that should be on your CV. If possible, use numbers and metrics. You save the organization 200 billion naira. Trust me, any organization will want to see how they want to hear from you. How did you do that? And then that calls for an interview. So when you go for your interview, I mean, you can now knock it off there, but your CV has to show that you can handle this, right? Then number three, highlight your leadership experience. If you're aiming for an executive or management role, it's important to demonstrate your leadership experience. I like your experience managing teams, leading projects, and making strategic decisions. Write it out. Oh, at this organization, I led social team, just like I said. I was a part of the team that developed this thing that helped this organization. I liked it. You led people, you made decisions, you managed teams. Those are the keywords that recruiters wants to hear, they want to see, to call you for an interview to get this role. And then the next thing is to show your passion for the industry. If you're passionate about the industry you're working in or you're looking for a job in, then make sure that comes across in your CV and LinkedIn profile. Mention any industry associations you belong to or any articles you have written or presentations you have given. Thank God for LinkedIn. You can upload your presentations, you can upload your articles, you can, talk about the industry so much. It's like if you're a social entrepreneur, for instance, you can't hide it. If you're a project manager, if you're an HR manager, for instance, you can't hide it. You love it, you're passionate about it. So it will help you to keep talking about it. It should show in your CV, it should show in your on your LinkedIn profile. Then use a professional photo, please. There's no need for selfie. If all it needs is for you to take a photo shoot, just enter a studio, dress nicely, do your light makeup for a lady. Guys, just use white powder and lip gloss if you can, and then just enter a studio. Use a professional photo portrait for your LinkedIn profile. There's no need to have a selfie or somewhere in a party because no. It's a professional background. And please do not use photographs on your CV except the organization is asking for it. And there are few organizations that ask for it. Organizations that are involved in media, media industry, they'll ask for your photos, maybe modeling or all those things. Please don't put your picture on your CV. It is not professional. Thank you. It's very important. And the reason I'm saying the don't is because if you do it, you might even be qualified, but that can just be a what's it called, disqualification point. They might just disqualify you because they feel like, why is this guy putting six picture? Or what if they see your face and at that point the person is not interested in your fine face? Like, what's wrong with this girl? Why is she so fine? I'm not doing it again. So there's bias. It informs bias, and I mean, there's no need really. And then next thing, keep it concise and easy to read. Because you have, now let me say this very well. I'm going to look into the screen. Because you have 10 years of experience does not mean your CV should be 10 pages. Okay, I made my point. Your CV can be 2 pages, should not be more than 2 to 3 pages. Even if you have had 100 years of experience, keep it concise, keep it straight to the point. There's no need adding all your experiences and everything because you want to make a point. I will get bored. Every recruiter is not going to pass your one page. The first page, they want to see everything: your skills, your accomplishments, your profile, your accomplishment, your profile, and your current job experience. After that, they're not really interested again. So why are you now putting everything to be 10 pages or what's it called, pamphlets? I don't need a pamphlet, just your CV that I need. Do you understand? So use bullet points and short paragraphs to break up the text and avoid using big English. Please, we don't understand English. Recruiters don't understand English. So using big English is not going to give you the job. Using big English can even make us run away from you. Now, if we invite someone for interview, the person just come and be speaking our head. Okay, so that's just a side joke. But yes, please do not use big English. We don't need technical English. Just make it simple, plain, concise, easy to read. And then for your LinkedIn profile, make sure it is complete. When you're done with your LinkedIn profile, you should see complete sign. You should see what's it called? That everything you have filled your there's this thing all stars. There's this thing all stars that LinkedIn gives you when you have filled everything appropriately. Please make sure it is complete. That way, the keywords are there. It will be easy for recruiters to note you, and then when they are searching, they're going to find you using the keywords. Make sure you have your professional headline, summary, work experience, education, and skills listed. And thank God for LinkedIn now. The skills are linked with your job description. So it asks you, where did you learn this skill? You can put your company there. And LinkedIn doesn't have pages, so you can bombard it with all the information you need in this life. Ask for recommendations on LinkedIn. Oh God, I can't tell you how recommendations has helped a lot of people get jobs on LinkedIn. Once you have your recommendations, you can ask from your former colleagues, former employer, former manager, the people that you have worked with, even outside the organization that are on LinkedIn. As long as the organization is on LinkedIn, you can ask people, please recommend me, write nice things about me, so that when an organization is looking out for me, they've seen the recommendation. Ask for people. So, and then you have to give recommendations so that as you're collecting, you're giving. Do you understand? And then last thing, I'm so sure that if you follow these steps in packaging your CV and LinkedIn profile, you will get that management and executive role. You will definitely get it. I am so sure. Remember to keep your focus on your achievements and leadership experience and tailor your profile to the job you want. If you have not taken anything home today, what you should take home is, after learning all these skills, after developing yourselves, after going through leadership skills and identifying all the skills you need to get this position, focus on the role. If you're a sales manager, focus on sales manager. Don't say you're applying for sales, operations, and project manager, anyone that enters. No, have a focus. Once you have a focus, it's going to help you, get the job faster. All right. So I'm done with my session. Thank you, everyone. Now it's time for questions. Before I hand over to Mr. Jimmy. Does anybody have a question based on everything that I have said, or we are good? Or now you can write the questions down. I'll give you like 1 minute, 2 minutes for questions. If we don't see any question, then we'll move on straight up. Questions. What are some ways to navigate challenges that comes with transitioning into management or executive role? Sorry, let me read the question very well. What are some ways to navigate the challenges that come with transitioning into how can I continue to develop my skills and stay competitive as a leader in my field? Basically, attend workshops, attend seminars, attend trainings, networking events, have professional networks, sell your market. Don't stop. Even when people look down on you, keep at it. The ways to navigate the challenges is because challenges are normal. It's normal for challenges to happen. You just need to be wise. Once you have emotional intelligence, one of the skills, very, very necessary skills for for getting into these roles, you'll be able to navigate it. Emotional intelligence, your leadership skills, and everything we've talked about today will help you navigate the hard times in your career. And yes, I do CV, no, not for free. There's nothing free in Nigeria. I help people package their CVs, to position them as well. So if you're having difficulties in packaging your CV, you can definitely reach out to me, eniola@menconsults.com, and we can talk about the rates at the end of the day. The rates differ, for you get your good CV, in fact, great CV that will get you the job. I mean, you can ask anybody that have done CV for here; they'll tell you. See, is there a different way of packaging one CV for executive and management roles? There's no different way, and there's no the same way. There's no one way fits. There's no one way fits, and there's no halfway fits. Everything is the same thing. There are templates, that would show executive CVs and all that. So, Abaye, what if your organization is not structured in a way that you don't have people under you? But you are in a mid-level grade. Do you work with some colleagues or what? or teams to get your work done? How do you top your management skills? Now, we know it's peculiar. There are some organizations that you don't have teams under. I mean, you don't have any team under you. But it's also important to know if you are interested in topping your management skills, you need to go for training. You need to look for organizations to volunteer in that you can, use your leadership skills, that you can use your management skills. You can, put everything um, into place. So yes, basically attend workshops and all that. How do I communicate knowledge and skills gained via books on my CV? You can't communicate knowledge gained on your CV via books. You can't write, I read this book or read this book until you have practiced it. What we need to know is these skills that you have you practiced it? Have you used it? If you have used it, then where did you use it? Who's this? David. Okay. Yeah. So if you have gained a skill via book, use it. Is the usage that you need to be an executive. Have you used it before? Where did you use it? How did you use it? Those are the things that you now communicate on your CV. So if you, for instance, you maybe you read a book on project management and you have not used it before, putting it on a paper is a lie. We have Mr. Jimmy with us and we go right into the next session.
So good morning. It's 5:04 a.m. where I am. I've been up since 3:30. I slept at after 12 midnight. But I have to do this, and that's why I'm here this morning. So I listened to a bit of what Eniola was sharing with you, and I can tell you that you guys have gotten tremendous value, more than 5,000 naira. I was going to go there, yeah. In fact, you owe our money, like 10K each of you, all right? So we'll just try to make it an experience that you won't ever forget. Again, I'm grateful that Eniola's put this together and asked me to be a part of it. And what I want to do today is to try to provide some sort of information that will be very, very, very valuable to you. And help you move from whatever level you are into what we're talking about, management to executive positions. Now, while I'm a Nigerian, to understand that many times, we have to put pressure spiritually and all that. I also feel that there's a dimension of wisdom that if people can have ideas about, it will actually help to accelerate their own journey in their own careers. I believe, I'm not sure if in the session on IG, if I shared a bit about my story. I'll start from there because you don't know anybody, more than you know yourself. And so people ask me, oh, how did you get to become a senior manager in the banking sector? Only 5 years after NYSC, okay? And this was in 2008 that I became a senior manager. So I finished my NYSC in 2003. Yeah, 2003, yes, is when I finished. By 2008, I was a senior manager in the banking sector in Nigeria. Now I'll put a caveat. I'll tell you a bit of the story. I had worked in a company called Accenture. I was at the lowest rung of the ladder, which is analyst. You typically have analysts, then consultants, then managers, and then all the way up to partners. And I was an analyst 2 when I joined Accenture. I moved one step forward, we did the same band to analyst 3. But a series of events, which I wouldn't even say in retrospect, I had planned everything. I'll have been comfortable. I was okay that I had a job in Accenture. I wouldn't have minded the regular progression over the number of years and all those kind of things. But a few things happened, First and foremost is the fact that I'm not the kind of person that knows how to manage discomfort, all right? If I have a discomfort about something, I try to address it. I realized that one of the reasons why a lot of people are not where they're meant to be is because they settle. They have developed the skill and the capacity to settle. All right. And so it's only a crisis that reminds them that they're not meant to be at that level. All right. And then many times they start grappling. And of course, what God cannot do does not exist. Sometimes after 5 years of waiting in your career, that you now get one promotion and all that. And thank God for that. But I don't like to settle. And what had happened was that even though I was working in Accenture at that time, another thing is I don't compare myself with other people. I'm focused on what my own personal goals are. At that time, relatively compared to my friends, I was doing well, working in a consulting firm. That's a global consulting firm. I would travel every Monday to Abuja, come back on Friday. We stayed at Sheraton Hotel. There was a chauffeur. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're living okay. I even got a per diem every day that I was not in Lagos, every day. As of 2008, I was collecting 1,000 naira every day for just not being in Lagos, and all that. But I knew that I had gotten to a phase in my career where I wanted more, and I vocalized it. All right. So now, on one end, that was there. The other end was that I'm grateful for that experience. Listen to me. The quality of work you do will determine the kind of opportunities that come your way. I'll say that again. The quality of work you do, because there is quality to work. There's quantity to work. All right. Please remind me, I'll come back to the story about, the leap into our Accenture, but let me talk about this, because a lot of people emphasize quantity. Oh, I have worked in this role for 6 years. The moment you start talking about that, then you are not dimensioning your work in the best light possible. All right. There's something I used to say, I've not said this in a while, and there's a difference between 20 years work experience and 1 year work experience 20 times. Did you hear what I said? That there's a difference between 20 years work experience and 1 year experience 20 times. If what you do in the banking sector, for example, is you're an operations person, and I can come and in 1 year, not just learn it, but beat you to it, you don't have 20 years experience. You have 1 year experience 20 times. Now that might be like an ouch moment for somebody, but I have to be very frank with you, because it's not the quantity, but the quality of the work you're doing. I'm not sure. Are you hearing me? Let me just be sure about that. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, that's good. So I want you to make a switch in your career, because if your quality improves, your acceleration, I can guarantee, will improve. So what you do on a day-to-day basis, all right, if it's more predictable work, of course, at a certain level, that's what you should do. But at some point, you should start making efforts to more strategic opportunities, more strategic responsibilities in the office. And many of them, you would have to volunteer to handle those things. Many of them will require you make a sacrifice of your time to be able to get into those peculiar opportunities, all right? I say that because even though I was an analyst, I remember that 2 things happened. First and foremost was my project manager, for some reason, just wanted to challenge me. And he told me to go and read on a particular specialized area called job evaluation. In fact, I'm going to refer to something from that today, job evaluation. And there's a particular methodology called the Hay methodology that, was there. So this is somebody I didn't know what that was. So I had to start reading about it. And this is not when we have our Google. Google is much updated today, all right? We will have AI today. This was the days when you plug your internet into the laptop, you press on the I don't know how old you are before it connects and all those kind of things. And so we had a bit of a struggle with, information, accessing information. So, but I got every project I could, and I read what I could, and I tried to understand it as best as I could at that point in time. And this was on a project with NNPC then. Yeah, that's the project I was on. It's called Project PACE. And so in a way, I became, even though I was an analyst, I became a subject matter expert, so much so that whenever my boss needed to answer a question, he said, Jimmy, so what is this? You know, and all this, what about this? What about that? What should we do here? What should we do there? And that I'm very, very grateful for. Listen to me. If you want an acceleration in your career, it's not the job they gave you that will make you happy. I get it. It's the job they did not give you. Are you hearing me? It's the job they did not give you. It's the one that is the opportunity that you see, that you seize, all right? That makes you a better worker, a better person, all right? That's what's going to make the difference at the end of the day. And so that was one dimension. The other dimension was that I had a next level person who wasn't really available on the job. And so many times the job fell on me. And again, this is something else, because sometimes when you're doing your supervisor's work, we complain, but this is not what they're paying me for, and all those kind of things. Well, if it is quality work, now if it's quantity work, then that's the problem. If they're just giving you more of what it is you have been doing, then maybe there's a real problem there. But when it is quality, you get to, attend meetings on Saturdays sometimes. Listen to me, everybody that I've met, they've had a season, everybody I've met that had some sort of acceleration, all of them had a season of work where they are not being paid for the amount of work they were doing. Every one of them that I've spoken to, everyone. And so it's about the quality, you know, they challenge you to read more, to go and study more, to go out more, you know, to do more, you know, and your colleagues who are comfortable will be lounging and laughing at you. And meanwhile, you're the one to be calling and sometimes bashing, and you're like, you're even bashing me for what is not my job. And it happened a lot to me and all that. But eventually what happened was that it gave me visibility. And I spoke about that. It gave me visibility with my project manager at that point in time. And what then happened was that somebody, many of us know Tony Elumelu, all right? He was CEO of UBA at that time. And he spoke to one of my senior friends then in Accenture and said to her, I'm looking for a head of HR. You know, at that time, he wasn't comfortable with who he had. I mean, amazing woman, but I think he wanted something a bit different, and he wanted someone with a consulting background. So she goes into the organization. By the way, this is how, as you grow in your career, your opportunities will not really be more of application, they'll be more of recommendation. Do you hear what I said? As you grow up further in your career, it will not be by application alone or primarily, it will be recommendation. Now, many times when they recommend you, you still have to apply, you have to go through the process. So your CV has to be in place, your LinkedIn has to be in place, because they're going to check you out, you know. But the referral, you know, is the network that you have. And so she referred my boss, and I remember him telling me the story how on a particular day, then we used to do what we call environmental sanitation in Lagos. First Saturday of the month or something like that, and then he gets a call very early from Tony Elumelu and says, hi, my name is Tony Elumelu, and all that. He says, oh, I'd like to have a meeting with you. What are you doing right now? He says, I'm at home. There's environmental sanitation. He says, no, where do you, give me your address. They will come and pick you now. And that's how they sent the siren and everything, and they came to his house and they picked him up. He said, I'm able to share his own story, how he got into becoming the head of HR for UB at that point in time. And they went and they had this conversation in Tony's house. And initially, the conversation was about him coming to do a bit of consulting work for UBA. And then he says, oh, come on, bring a team along, you know. And so there were people that were recommended who were consultants, managers in Accenture at that point in time. And there was this small boy who always used to do the work they gave to him, would be in meetings till 1 a.m., sending documents at 3 a.m., attending meetings at 7 a.m., you know, no matter how much they rushed him and everything, he just was always there. And so I remember that my boss, you know, said to me one day, so incidentally, I was tired. And this is me, you know, so because your emotions are actually feedback, you know, that tell you something is wrong. Many people, I'm not saying you exactly, have learned how to manage and live with frustration, you know, that career frustration. I think I still have to get back to that ministry. And Allah, please help me, remind me about it, because a lot of people get used to it, and it actually affects them adversely. Psychologically, it makes them weak over a period of time, and then usually they need a revival, to be able to get back, their game. But I don't know how to do that, so I started to talk about it. I started to first to my colleagues and all that. Now, a few things that happened. Also, my mindset had changed about leading teams and stuff like that. And then I said, oh, let me speak to my manager. Now, funny enough, I'd spoken to him. Yes, I'd spoken to him some months before, and I said to him that I wanted to leave Accenture. I remember he was in his room in Sheraton, and he kind of like discouraged me and all those kind of things. And so now, a few months after, I'm back again, and I'm like, I want to talk to you. Of course, many people know my story. That particular day, I was tired. I started to pray to God that I'm tired, and I was on 3rd Mainland Bridge. And by the time I got to a point, I heard in my spirit to speak to him. So I get to the office, I saw him in the office, and I started to speak to him, and I did. And by the time I was through, he advised me and said, you know what, I understand your frustration, but try and stay in Accenture till you make manager. Remember, I was an analyst. So I had to move from analyst 3 to consultant 1, consultant 2, consultant 3 before I make manager 1. So I said, thank you. I was about to leave his office. Then he goes, Jimmy, please come back. And I'm like, what? And he says, I want to ask you a question. I said, what? He says, he said, what I'm about to tell you, you mustn't tell anybody. I said, no problem at all. He said, you mustn't tell anybody. So he now tells me this story about how Tony Elumelu calls him and how eventually he tells me he's going to become the head of HR for UBA. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? I'm so happy for him. He told me his salary. I'm excited for him, and all those kind of things. And then he asked me one question. He says, do you want to come? Guys, I didn't do any interview at UBA, but it wasn't a smooth process. So I'll finish that story. But I didn't do any interview, all right? I didn't meet anybody till I resumed 1st of March 2007 in UBA. Now, when I told him, I said, sure, I'd like to go with you, because I'm looking for industry experience. At that time, he now said, I'm going to, and this is, may you have people that God can use to, that believe more in you than believe in yourself. I would have been happy if they made me senior banking officer or some funny thing like that, And I remember him saying to me, Jimmy, I'm going to push that they make you a manager. I said, me, manager? Oh, okay, no problem at all. So once he sold it to me, I don't shy away from, people say, no, I don't want him, I'm not ready. Ladies and gentlemen, the person that told you that you're going to be a manager, is he mad? All right, so I said, let's go there. And then I remember that he sent my CV to UBA, and then Tony sent it to HR, because I have to go through the process. Remember I told you that even though there's recommendation, there's still application. So they sent it to HR, and HR assessed my CV and said that the best they can give me was senior banking officer with a promotion commitment after 6 months of performance to assistant manager, SBU to AM. I remember that was, and I remember me and Come and said, Jimmy, was looking very troubled that day. We were in Abuja that he said, come, I want to show you something. He now showed me the thing. I felt sad because my mind had entered manager level. I don't know about you, and all those kind of things, and it says, he now said, I'm still going to fight. I'm still going to fight. He now responded. And after, in front of me, he typed a mail. He said, dear Tony, how are you? Because Tony forwarded what HR sent to him and forwarded it to me. So Mia now types and paraphrasing and says, dear Tony, how are you doing? And all that, I know that this is maybe an objective assessment of it, but Jimmy is my, I remember he used this word, Jimmy is my workhorse. He said, the work I'm coming to do in UBA requires I have somebody that can be driven, that can deliver. He now wrote things I did on Project Pace and all those kind of things. And he now said, based on this, I'm recommending you still give me the manager role. And he sent it. And I was like, thank you, and all that. And then I remember that one, they just come, said, Jimmy, come and say something. And I went, I wrote approved. And that's how I got it, all right? So I got into UBA as a consultant on manager level. All right. Remember, we came in consulting. Eventually, we integrated into the system, which also was how I became a senior manager. All right, the following year, because what happened was that, of course, I got into UBA and we used to work hard. I remember I wanted to move closer to the office. And so one lunch break, I told my wife, meet me, let's check a house somewhere in Yaba area of Lagos. I drove, I saw her as I was speaking at me and said, Jimmy, come here now. I said, I was in the house before. I just said, go and see the house. I turned around and it was really upset me that they told me, Jimmy, we came here to die here. I said, no, man, I didn't come here to die. But I know what it meant. Remember, we have to give our best. So that's how it was. We would resume in the morning. Normally, we enter his office 7 a.m., we'll have a briefing, then we'll go into the day and then do what we have to do. By 8 o'clock or so, we'll leave work. I'll get home around 9 o'clock in the night. And that went on for a couple of months. And in that process, I started learning how, because now, let me also tell you something that happened. When we got to UBA, they didn't like us. And I can't blame them, you know. Imagine these small boys. And that's what we were, honestly. I was 2007, I was 29 years old, yes. You know, 29 years old. So all these small boys, it's a manager. So I was collecting manager salary as a consultant. That's what it was 8 million naira per annum then, I remember. And so, but I tried, you know, to make friends with them. After a while, they're like, these guys are not bad, you know, and all that. We'll laugh, we'll solve. Now, let me tell you one of the ways we actually got into them. We're solving a problem. So they'll come and say, I want to do this. I'll be like, bring it now. I'll just with our consultants. Thank you. And that's how we became friends, you know, with the main staff and all those kind of things. And eventually one day they called me and said, oh, Jimmy, you're going to become the head of recruitment for UBA, you know, and all that. So even though you're a consultant manager level, you become head of recruitment and manpower planning. And that's how I became head of recruitment. Then, but we still kept working on projects. So one of the projects that we're working on is, I hope you're not bored with my story. Please pick the lessons I was going along. And then when I'm through, I'll summarize a few thoughts and points, and then we'll just move from there. I like engagement in the comment section. So let me know, you know, whether you're feeling me or not. Okay, you're not bored. No, that's Eniola. Okay, not at all. Okay, thank you. All right, and so one time we had a project called the Executive Compensation Project, you know, and so they brought me in to do a few things and all that. By the time we were through the project, basically, they were going to increase compensation at senior manager and above, you know, at that time. And so now I was a manager, all right? And as a senior manager, how much you earn? 13.5 million, I can't forget. Their salary was 9 point something million, and then now we're going to 13.5 million, I can't forget. Then they're going to give them other perks and benefits, you know, they're going to change their cars. Then they are also going to give them a mortgage. I remember my boss told me, said, Jimmy, this thing is sweet, oh, you know, and all those kind of things, you know. So I was not like, one day I just said to her, I said, sir, now I said, I said, a lot of people that I was helping out at work, some of them were DGMs, deputy general managers. They'll bring their work to me. I would work with them, you know, get stuff done, you know, and that kind of thing. So I had done some projects, you know, at that time, save the bank some money. So I said to my boss one day, I said, sir, that I want senior manager. You have to. Now, okay, let me tell you what actually, many times I just share the high level story, but so what that happened was that Tony really liked us and wanted us to come, and he said we should show his commitment to us because we had a 3-year contract. Yes, when we left Accenture, we signed a 3-year contract. So 1 year into the contract was like, I want to keep these guys. And he knew that after a while, some other banks would be trying to reach out and trying to get us. And so, and they had actually decided to try, you know, they didn't try to get me initially, they were trying to get other people, you know, and all that. And I think he heard about that. So he now said we should show, these were his words, we should show our commitment to him by converting to become full staff. Now, because of the executive compensation, everybody above me, it was going to pay them, all right? They're going to collect, like, you know, they call bastard money. That's what they're going to collect at that time. Because some of them are principal managers, AGM, everything and all that. I was the only one as a manager. Now, converting, remember, I told you that I was a manager. I think I was only paying because I was a consultant, I was only expected to pay 5% on tax, you know. and remit my own tax to the government, how those kind of things work and all that, like a service charge. That's what, or VAT or something funny like that. That's what I was just meant to remit. So I was okay, Now, if I converted to be manager, I'll now be paying, I'll still be collecting 8 million, but I'll now be paying higher tax. And then it wasn't going to pay me. Then the car they gave me a brand new car, MJ 476 kg. That was normal, yeah. Brand new car. Now I will now be paying for the car. So it didn't make sense for me to convert. You get my point? So BM came to me, Jimmy, I know it's not going to pay you initially, but just get into the system. I said, sir, I'm not that if I get a better opportunity, I will leave. He says you cannot leave, blah, blah, blah. And I said, sir, I have an idea. He said, what? I said, let them make me senior manager. This was 1 year after I resumed. Let them make me say, no, what am I saying? I resumed March, yes. I resumed March. This was implemented. Yeah, about a year after. If they make me senior manager, I will convert. You say your mouth is big now. And you have to learn how to negotiate. You need to know your right moments. Are we together? These are things you probably will not see in a book and all that. So I said, and I did the maths for him, it won't make sense. Why would I convert and go backward? I'm meant to be going forward. If you promote me, I'll be more motivated and all that. He said, your mouth is too big now. That's what his dad said to me. You that were analyst at Accenture, now you're a manager and that. I said, it is what it is. That's what I want. So I said, you know what, boss, let's not fight. I won't convert. I'll stay as a consultant. So it now looked bad because everybody had agreed to convert. Only the smallest boy refused to convert. So 2 banks started calling me. When he said, you're not going anywhere. So he now said, okay, I now have what it is. Because you have to be in a position where your demand will lead to a supply of opportunities for you, all right? That's what I said. And your demand should initially be internal, but eventually should be external in your organization. Now, please, I don't know your company you work for, so I have no allegiance and all that, but any company that sees value should do all they need to do to retain value. I must say that up front. Okay, and so it doesn't always have to be money. Somebody's performing very well, give them more opportunities. There are ways you can motivate people, but you don't keep people that are good and just keep them subjected and say you cannot go. It's not a prison, it's a job. Anyway, that's that aside. So, cut the story short, we now made a case for it. Oh, this guy did this. I listed many projects I did in the company. I remember that I did a job evaluation project. I remember that weekend we went to Protea Hotel with the last CEO of UBA, Kennedy Uzoka himself, me and myself. We sat down in one room and we did a mini job evaluation for the whole bank. I remember then I did the job description project for the bank. I did the org structure, for the bank. These are things that were not really existent at that time because remember 2005 was consolidation. So a lot of things are still scattered and all that. So we did all of that, and all that. And so they listed those things of value, things that were not my job. My job was recruitment, remember? I'm manpower planning, but now I was doing organizational design and all those kind of things. And when they listed it, he now said also that this guy, if he convert, he wants to convert to, but if he converts, he will pay more tax, his car will be paying for and all that. He just came back approved. They promoted me to senior manager. They gave me, I remember they gave me 5.5 million I should take, dash money, no tax, just take the money. I remember the day that Mike Olawale paid it into my account. And so I said, what is it? He said, money that just don't go. Anybody that toasts you, don't agree. I did not agree from there. Now, that's my own story. And that's how I became a senior manager 5 years after NYSC. But I like to pick the lessons, from everything. And I'm praying that everybody here experiences, because you didn't just join this program because it's a nice, you want to support Eniola, you actually want to accelerate. But I'll tell you something. The reason why that happened also was because there was turbulence in the industry. And I'm saying this because right now, globally, there's turbulence. Now, when there's turbulence, there are opportunities, I'm telling you. So what had happened was that the turbulence that happened in 2005 was the banking consolidation. And so banks now had 25 billion naira, money that they didn't know what to do with it. I mean, you could be on a plane and meet Tony and tell him that I'm an astronaut, I can take your company to the moon. We'll just get his CV, interview this person by tomorrow. It's happening again now. So I mean, I was still saying it on was it Friday or Thursday that Accenture, my dear Accenture, was laying off 19,000 people. But I'm telling you that as they're laying off people, they're still recruiting people. All right, it's a different set of people that will be recommended, people that have a particular set of skills and all that. So my emphasis is the handle that you can hold. Now let God hold his handle. The handle you can hold is the quality of work that you do. Don't agree to be normal at work. Don't agree, I beg you. No, it will hinder your progress, because when what you do is common, then there's no need to give you something special. It's just the way it is. So you're going to have to do what opportunities, find opportunities within your organization, or sometimes find opportunities beyond the organization. Some of you are members of, you're in banking sector. There's the banking, what's that? I can't remember the association in Nigeria now, NIBN or something like that, banking association, and you don't attend their meetings. Who goes there? It's bankers that go there. You know, you don't network. I'll talk about that real quick, you know, and all that. I'm telling you, that's how people meet people, and that's how miracles happen, you know. And they say that if you want lightning to strike you, find where lightning strikes regularly and go and camp there. It's that simple. All right. So having said all of this, so I was going to talk about something from job evaluation. So general idea about management and executive positions is, and I always share this story, simple story to illustrate it, that in any company, there are two GMs, all right? There's a general manager and then there's a gate man, all right? Yes, two GMs, they're both GMs, general manager and gate man. So one day the company decides to do, you know those things they say, governor for a day, president for a day. So they decided to swap roles. And so they made the GM a gate man and made the gate man the GM. All right. So the gate man resumes at work, and as he gets to the gate, the general manager flings the gate open. Welcome, sir. Wow, okay, this is great. This is nice. All right. And then he enters, gets to the lift, they clear everybody, he enters the lift, goes upstairs, he enters Oga's office, you know, and they say, oh, sit behind the desk. Wow. As he sits down, they ask, do you want some tea or coffee? You know, and all that. The atmosphere is perfect, air conditioning, CNN on one side, you know, everybody say, welcome, sir. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. He's so excited about this experience until around 10:25. And I say, excuse me, sir, please, we have a problem. One of our installations right now, there's a labor union issue and blah, blah, blah. What should we do? That's when you know that it's a game. Am I right? That's when you know that, you know, because at that point, what the gate man can leverage is what he knows. True of us, yes. But let's switch it downstairs to the gate. So the GM resumes at the gate. First thing he notices is that this place is dirty. This place is smelly. How many of you go to big companies that have smelly gatehouses? I don't know why they do that. Anyway, and they will now force you to enter and force you to sign something. That's why you have to be a big boy. Anyway. So he goes in there and then he takes note of that. And then he noticed that we are opening the gate manually. It's like, wait, now he never considered all of this because it's not his business. He now says, but they're automated gates, you know, and those kind of things. So he takes note of that. You know, the customers come in and they're filling a book. How many of you fill those hard copy, brown books with blue at the corner? You know? Yes, so you have to be a big person. I'm telling you, they will open the gate. They will ask you a question. You know, if I have time, remind me about the story about that. I saw it live. I made up my mind. Jimmy, you have to be big in life. Anyway, so remember those brown books with blue at the corner, very thick. They do not tell you to be filling your name, purpose of coming official or personal, time in, time outside. I was like, why is this not automated? He now says, how many of these books do you have? Your fellow gate men. He said, every month we have to buy one new one. In fact, we use 2 per month. He said, use 2 per month, and they show him a log. All those, you notice those things, they will just fill it, they'll put at one corner. And he said, wow, why don't we have foot traffic analysis? Why don't we check what time people come in more, how to manage this and all that? Is it more official or personal? So he's taking data analysis. You know why? Because that's who he is. That's what he knows. Do you get my point? When you arrive at the job, you only defer to what you know. So in the Hay methodology of job analysis, there are three key things that every job has. Of course, the first one is called know-how. Somebody type down for me. No, that's KNOW-HOW. Know-how. The GM, it is his know-how that made him respond that way. The gate man, it is his lack of know-how that made him respond the way that, hey, please, oh, what do we do? Oh, I don't want to make decision. So many people want the salary of a GM, but you don't have the know-how of a GM. You are going to cause a crisis. Even if, I always say, God is a good God, though. If God promoted you, he knows you have the know-how for it. God is a good God. Even his enemies, he will not bring bad things to them because he can only do good. God, lift me up. Give us something to lift now. All right? So know-how, I'm going to explain some things. The second one is called problem solving. So the know-how you have is what you use to solve problems. All right? So the first one is know-how. Thank you, Precious. Second one is problem solving. And the third one is accountability. The problem you can solve determines what we give you to be accountable for. Did you get that? So it's know-how, problem solving, and accountability. I can break it further down, but let me just keep it at the high level today. So guys, okay, I'll probably tell you a bit about the breakdown and all that, but that's how it works. The know-how for the managing director of a company obviously is higher than for somebody who is a teller at the bottom level. And let me say this to you, even if you went to Harvard, nursery and primary school, or whatever, if you're a teller, you're a teller. That is, you cannot do more than a teller can do in that role because there's a defined know-how required for you to be a teller. Do you get my point? So every role has its know-how. So what we do in job relations is that we basically do an assessment and assign numbers to each job, unique job in an organization, and we're able to say this is the know-how. Under know-how, there are three sub factors. That's what we call them. The first one is called technical know-how. All right. Every role has technical know-how. That job you are aspiring to get into, do you have the technical know-how to be able to get it now? Cheat code. You don't have to get the job to have the technical know-how. If you get the technical know-how, you'll be positioned for the job. This is what it means to have a learning culture, personally. Do you get my point? So the first one is under know-how is technical know-how. The second one is what we call managerial know-how. The ability to plan, organize, and integrate, all right? It's managerial know-how. So, excuse me, how are you able to manage resources, and all that? You must be able to demonstrate that. As you grow within a system, you move from what we call homogeneous to heterogeneous, all right? So somebody who, for example, is a department head for something, fund transfer, that's all they do. But the person who is the person that's the divisional head for operations does fund transfer, does FX, does this, so it is heterogeneous. So the more you go upwards, the more heterogeneous it becomes compared to the homogeneous within this. So you have to be able to increase your breadth of managerial know-how. The last one is called interpersonal skills, including communicating and influencing skills. These are key dimensions of technical know-how. Under problem solving, we have two. We have what we call thinking challenge and the thinking environment, all right? Now, every role has a predefined thinking environment, which is the latitude you have to be able to think. Do you know some roles are not allowed to think? The moment you have a problem that is more than your job, you have to refer it upwards. Do you get my point? So at a lower level, the thinking environment is smaller, all right? And most likely the thinking challenge will be lower because the kind of problems you will meet, nobody goes into a bank and says, we would like to buy 1 million shares of your bank and go to go and meet customer service desk. It doesn't happen there. You don't hear those kind of things there. All you hear is that my banking app did not open. I've been applying for, Udom accounts. They've not opened. That's what you'll be hearing. So the thinking challenge is lower at the lower level. And let me say this to you. The thinking challenge is like you're going to a gym The smaller the weight, the smaller the build. The bigger the weight, the bigger the build. So as you grow upward in an organization, I hope this is helping you, all right? I want you to think differently about the job. You know, the job I have, what is the thinking challenge? What is the thinking environment? It's always usually predefined. The moment it's beyond your, you say this one is beyond your pay grade. Now, of course, I'm challenging you to try now. This is a problem. If you go and attempt a thinking challenge that's beyond your pay grade, and it's like a customer walks into the bank and you are a teller, and the customer says, I want to negotiate rates. And at the teller level, you are trying to negotiate rates for a liability product. You know you're going to be, you're entering liability problem. How do you know that? Because your role does not, you have to refer to the branch head or whatever to be able to handle those kind of things. So I wanted to just give you a picture where that's concerned. The last level is accountability, all right? And accountability speaks about the freedom to act. Now, one level is thinking, that's the problem solving. But you know you can think about something and not have the authority to act. Are we together? So the more you go upwards, the more you can act. That's why the MD can come to the branch and do customer service week. And then the person comes and says, oh, I'm not happy with the bank. And they can say, sir, don't worry, we're going to, number one, we're going to refund all your money. Number two, we're going to do that. No teller can do that, but the MD can do that because he has freedom to act. All right? Thank you. Freedom to act. Then the other one is the nature of impact. So this speaks a lot. One of the dimensions we use to measure this is the budget to control. Do you get my point? The nature of impact. Does it impact just your field, or is it spread across? The more you go upwards, the more your budget spreads across. And the last one is called your area. So there's nature of impact, then there's the area of impact, the actual budget in figures that you actually control. All right. So one of them speaks about how heterogeneous your budget is. The other one is how much you control. So somebody that has the authority to sign a check of 20 million is not a small person compared to someone that is signing 5 naira. Do you get my point? So these are the dimensions. So whenever you are seeking an executive role, ask yourself, do I have the know-how for that level? Now, one of the easiest ways to know the know-how for any level is to go and check the vacancies for that level. Some of you should be studying vacancies, you know, because in the vacancies, they always state the know-how required. So when they say a BSc, now, I'll be honest with you, some HR, they're just so lazy. They just do copy and paste. I'm sure you have seen that before, you know, so, but their mistake is law. If the company says we only want BSc and Greek, that's what they're going to have, all right? So you check a few of those vacancies and find out what is common amongst them. What are the requirements? So let me ask you guys, everybody, let's dream for a minute. I told you that in 5 years, I became a senior manager in the banking sector. So I want you to, now I know I'm going to allow you to dream now, but manage your dream small. I don't want you to be mad, okay? Where would you like to be in 2 years? What role? Now, I know you want to write the head of the industry. Calm down, all right? Find from where you are right now, 2 levels up, type it, 2 levels up, type what role that would be. Type in the comment section. Type in the comment section. 2 levels up. We call it double promotion. Let me see some examples. Chief of, okay. Chief of party. Are you in APC or PDP? I'm just kidding, don't mind me. All right. I need that. That's it. A senior manager, maybe in your sector. Beautiful. All right. Another person? Purity, you're laughing. I'm just asking a question. Don't mind me. Executive director. Yes. HR director. CEO. Yes. Keep it coming. Another person. Some of you are even afraid to dream. That means that they have gotten you from your village. You need deliverance. Please see Eniola for deliverance services, 50K. Director of operations, good one, David. I know there are more people in the room. Or you don't even know 2 levels up. Okay, head of accounts, beautiful. Yes, can I have 2 more? Senior programs officer, UN Women Nigeria. I like Mayowa. We know what we want. All right, I'm working in production, my third or corporate job. I came to here, Mr. Jimmy. Okay, that's another one also. So CEO of my own company, that's fine. That one has know-how to, I'm telling you, CEO, chief operating officer. Okay, beautiful. So thank you. So now what I want you to be able to do is this, that I want you to go and look at go and study those things. Go online, type vacancy for that kind of things in your own context. Don't go and look at America vacancy. Look at, if you want to be in Nigeria, you want to be in Africa, look for those roles, then compare across board. So what you want to do is this, that these are the requirements. Then you look at what you have, then you can now identify your gaps. The gap become your personal development plan, PDP, not the PATIO, all right? That's your personal development plan. So that's what you need to work on. Immediately, you will know the certifications you need to do. Immediately, you will know the roles you want to take. Someone says, oh, but Jimmy, I don't want to go up in my current, career path. I want a different career path. All right, that's fine. So you have to go and study that other one. But I'll tell you by experience, usually to make a transition easily into another one, you have to dip first before you go up. All right, it's a usual pattern. It's very rare, except your roles are perfectly transferable, but usually very rare. So usually people don't want to give you, even if you go out, that's why people tell, come to HR. HR, I've done CIPM. You people move me to HR now. No, it's not just CIPM. You don't have any experience. Do you get my point? And all that, but you can gain experience by every weekend, volunteer. I tell people that, what can you do? Call 4 of your friends that own companies. What are your HR problems? I just did CIPM. They will be like, oh, you have done CIPM? Yeah, come. I'm telling you, you now you use them as the guinea pig and all that. Yes, your friend. You even charge them small money, so you can come and put on your CV, handle this for this company, handle this for this company before the one you're currently doing. That's how to transition. All right, so you usually might make a dip, and I've seen it happen too many times. That's why I'm pretty confident about it. So that's how it actually happens, all right? So I know that, let me begin to wrap up so we can take questions. I know that during the InstaLab and your lab, I began to speak about a few things. I spoke about 4 of them. I'm going to add 3 more and just go over them real fast, okay? First thing I spoke about is experience, all right? At executive level, we're dependent on what you have come to know, not by head, but by what you have gone through. So I've seen people who have 7 years experience get roles ahead of someone that has 14 years experience. Quality. They tell you, oh, I worked at Goldman Sachs. By the way, the company that you work with also makes people assume things a lot. A lot of people that worked in Accenture, they did not really work. I know some, but they got roles because they worked. So I always tell people that aspire and perspire to join a global company in your field. Aspire. Now, if God wants you to be in one company, Yinka and Sons, it's okay, and all those kind of things. But I'm telling you, aspire to perspire. Someone said it's true, truest truth, to work in a global organization. And today, with remote working and many other options like that, you can actually get those kind of roles. Anytime, let me tell you something. Anytime, I live in America, so people are like, oh, what do you do? And all that. I tell them, well, I'm an executive coach, and all this kind of thing. And I tell you, so when I work in Accenture, the moment I say Accenture, I see their face change. Wow. I'm telling you, because in their mind, Accenture, that's the way it is, so experience, and the truth about it is that, what you would experience in a more global organization will be more robust compared to a local organization, to be honest though, sometimes in smaller companies, I call them bespoke organizations and all that, you probably will get a lot more depth, because when you get to these bigger companies, you fix you in a role with very more specific, activities to do. That's just the challenge that is there. You don't have a lot of latitude in many of those companies and all that. But yes, so if you mix your experiences, it would actually be very, very good. But you can actually gain experience. Experience is, once your gym plays, okay, that's good. Experience can be gotten for free. Just want to experience something. Today, if you want to experience 5-star hotel, you can experience it. Just pay the cost, you experience it. So any experience you want, pay the cost. Look for it around you. Oh, one day I plan to go to HR. Tell your friends in HR, please, if you need anybody, you have a project, you people are, and don't say become a big boy. I want to do the big boy things. If people are filling form, you need someone to fill forms, I will come. One day they'll be in a meeting, they'll be like, we need help on Saturday. You'll say, let's call this person. Say, how can you call him a senior? Say, no, he said if you want, you should come. You join them. You feel those kind of things, and all that. Before you know it, every time they're always calling you. Then there's more things. Oh, can you do this? Before you know it, they say, we need to fill a role in HR. Why? Let's bring him now. He's already our guy. That's how it works. All right. So experience is very critical. Please, it's not, I said it at the beginning, it's not quantity any longer, it's quality. Quality of experience. And let me put it this way. Please, when you are given a task, do you know the way you do a task also defines the experience you have around it? Because some people don't push themselves deeper. All right. So quality, thank you, over quantity. Quality many times has a lot to do with your own personal drive to know things deeper. All right. I spoke about experience, one. I spoke about business acumen. Listen to me. Every company is a business. There are 4 things your company, your CEO will always hear, and that is his language. Number 1, helping to make more money or her to make more money. Number 2, help them to save more money. Number 3, help them to grow their market share. Number 4, help them to grow their reputation. Do you hear what I said? Number 1, help them to make more money. Number 2, help them to save more money. Number 3, help them to grow their market share. Number 4, help them to improve their brand reputation. If you do those things, the CEO will know you after a while. Do you get my point? So come up with solutions around that in meetings and all those kind of things. The reason why they gave me the promotion, one of the reasons why they gave me the promotion was that there's a particular project we wanted to bring a company from South Africa to do. It's going to cost us $3 million. I did half of the work and all that. So I saved them minimum $1.5 million. So when I'm asking for 13.5 million, they give it to me in naira. You get my point, all right? So business acumen. And listen to me, most employees don't understand business. Now, for the person that wants to transition to entrepreneurship, let me tell you, most likely you don't know business, except you've been doing business. The only way to know business is not by reading, it's by doing. There's also, you can't gain muscle by reading or watching. It's like saying I want to gain muscle by watching exercise video. I'm feeling fit because I want. No, you don't. It doesn't work that way. You have to do the work. Business acumen. So I tell people, stop saying that I'm not a business person. You don't want, every successful person is a business person. Go and check it globally. Business is about exchange of value, all right, in one way or the other. So I'm a business person, all right? Business acumen, build it over a period of time. You just see yourself in the meeting, and then there will be one day and somebody will be like, so let's go and all that. And you'd say, sir, I have an idea. If we go this route for this recruitment, it's based on the current market, whatever, if we're going to hire 50 people, we'll probably be paying this. Can we create a pipeline? Can we have, let's go to these universities and let's, do a pipeline school, do a 3-month course and all that. Would half our cost will be divided by 3 and all those kind of things. And then we'll be able to manage the culture to ensure that they integrated to the organization. They'll be like, sorry, who is that person that's talking there? All right. Oh, yes. Yalaje, beautiful. You're in the UK, trying to navigate the system. You're in the pounds. You're a good person. All right. That's a good one. All right. That's fine. So business acumen, you do it, you learn it by doing. That's good. Number 3 is collaboration, all right? The ability to be able to, because as you grow, you have to learn how to collaborate within the department, within the team, beyond the team, team to team, department to department, division to division. And as you keep going upward, that's the way it works. The ability to get people to get things done, all right? Within the system, beyond the system, collaboration, vendors you work with, those kind of relationship management, it all matters at that level. Start practicing it. Start sitting in those meetings. You want to do vendor assessment. Ask them, can I sit down in the meeting and take notes for you? Listen to how they are doing it. I'm telling you, the next one will say, we don't have time, but Jimmy, I've been sitting in the meeting. Can you represent or sit down there? Before you know it, you are doing it. After I say, oh, she can handle it, she can handle it. She normally attends a vendor selection meeting. That's how it happens. Do you get my point? Collaboration. Then I spoke about communication, and Yola spoke about that earlier. Listen to me. Your ability to share your thoughts and ideas in a way that can compel people to engage with you is communication, all right? You have to become better at it. Now, I know that Nigeria, some people get roles because of who they know. And I know that, but the truth about it is that the more global you become, who you know can open the door for you, but you cannot even keep the door open for you. And one has to keep it open yourself. So your ability to communicate with below, at par with your peers, and even upwards. Do you get my point? How to engage. Can you engage senior people in a good conversation? Sometimes everything, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma. And there's a way you even say sir, ma, that makes you look subservient. You have to show honor, but carry yourself well. Do you get my point? How to communicate to external stakeholders. If you know how to do it very well, as an analyst in Accenture, I used to go to Kaduna Refinery, Eleme Petro. Okay, I didn't go to Eleme. I went to Nigerian Gas Company in Warri. They would send only me there. I'll be talking to the MD, I'll speak to everybody. So they could trust that I could engage at that level, all right? And you have to try. Don't be afraid, all right? Even if you mess up, you learn from it and you move on from there. Not the one they will call you to come and do presentations. No, don't give Eniola. That's how people give away their opportunity that God has been cooking for them, all right? Build your communication skills. The next one is your network, all right? Even the company depends on your network to get things done. Many times you have something to do. Someone just say, I know somebody in this regulatory whatever. Maybe you're in the banking sector and all that. There's a guy in UBA there. His name is called Ebenezer. There's a time I think they wanted to let him go. Well, they said they can't let him go. He said his friends are in CBN. He knows this person CBN. He knows this person CBN. I'm telling you, if you want to be relevant, your network is not just for you, it's for the organization. So build a network. I want to challenge you. Go for the association meeting of your industry this year. You're in oil and gas. You have not gone for oil and gas conference, engineering, whatever. See, it's only old men that are there. Don't you know that that thing they say in church, they are going to pass mantle. Better go and collect mantle in the conference. Be sharp, all right? Engage with them. CIPM in HR. There's one always in Abuja every year. Pay for it and go there. And we together, Purity is laughing at me. It's true. Mantles are dropping. Someone say amen. All right. I'm not a serious person. I think I never told you before. Okay. That's why I find out. It's not people that are serious that make it in life, really. All right. So let me finish. Network. Then the next one is develop your capacity for strategic thinking. I remember when my first job was in a consulting firm called Ristra Consulting. And I would sit in strategy meetings. It was Greek. I'll sit down. I'll be like, in my mind, I'm telling myself, can I ever understand what people are saying? But I've learned something. Sit down there. I tell meetings that he doesn't understand you. I know what I said is wrong, but you know what I'm saying? You don't understand. Sit down there. After a while, it's like, if you don't understand French, if you go to France, you will pick it. Before you know it, on pole, little by little. Before you know, you are growing. The same thing also, don't always be in local champion league conversations. Go to Premier League conversations. Can I challenge you guys? Whenever there's a board meeting, ask them, do you need someone to take notes? If you sit down at board meeting, at least you eat chicken from morning till night, all right? They'll stress you. But you'll be hearing stuff that nobody normally hears. You'll be talking about the next direction of the organization. This is what they're doing and all that. You don't need to even answer question there. Don't go to a board meeting and say anywhere, try to show yourself. You don't even know yourself. You cannot show yourself. Calm down first. Except they now ask you, what do you think about this? Then you say something, all right? Don't be too much in the area. Let me warn you, because they tell you anytime. So you finally meet in the boardroom, maybe today, you should now say something. If you don't have anything to say, don't say, because you might not recover when the way they handle you. I'm just telling you for free. But when you are ready, if you do that regularly, after a while, you understand the language, you understand direction, be able to, even when you now get your department, you can, because you see the bigger picture, you can link what you're doing to the bigger picture. And that's strategic thinking has different dimensions. There's depth of thought. So that means you have to be knowledgeable. The more knowledgeable you become, there's the breadth of thought. That has to speak about how much you know in your field and your industry. Then there's the height, or how far, which is forecasting. In any field, go and check it. There's predictions in HR for the next 10 years for HR. You should know those things. So if you have a meeting and all those kind of, there's a meeting, HR, heads or department and you're there, but you're already seeing that according to Saratoga organization or according to Gartner and all that, that the next 5 years, this is the direction, then then your company comes and the direction is opposite. You can say, I mean, it's great at conversations and all that, but I don't know, has anybody seen the Gartner report for 2023 and all that? There's a prediction that the world is going to go in this direction because of blah, blah, blah. People that will be like, even your head of HR, they don't know, they will look stupid, all right? You begin to shine there, okay? Then the last one is your personal brand, all right? And there are 2 dimensions that I say. Number 1 is your reputation, and number 2 is your representation. What's your reputation? What people know about you? Listen to me. What you know about yourself is what people know about you. What people know about you is how they're going to use to deal with you, all right? So you have to be intentional about your reputation, all right? The biggest level of reputation is that they get their job done. They get their job done excellently. They are good. Not that they are popular. I said it somewhere that popularity is pseudo influence. It's not real influence. A lot of people are very popular, yes, and to some degree, but if you are influential because of the kind of work you can deliver, it's more solid than if you're just popular. Everybody likes you, okay? What's your reputation? You are known for getting results. One of my mentors always used to say that in those days when we used to watch football, I don't watch it again because I'm going older. I don't want to have problem, but when Nigeria used to play, and then towards like 15 minutes to the end, we are losing. Then you now bring one tall, slim guy. Who knows that guy? Type it there. Tall, slim, and now know your age and all that. And then when he comes in, before 5 minutes, just see the ball in the post. Hey, before you know it, I won. Thank you. You notice I did not need to tell Purity. I don't know Purity is. Purity knew what I was talking about. That's called reputational reputation. That's what it is. All right, papillo. We all know. Do you get my point? So, are you the papillo of your organization where they know that just bring Jimmy in, he will solve it. Oh, just bring Abaye in, bring David in, bring Purity in. That's reputation, and everybody has a reputation in the organization. Let me tell you the worst one. When they're in a meeting and say, bring Shukbo in. Then start saying, who is Shukbo? That's a reputation though. It's just a negative balance. And some people are negative when your name does not resonate in certain meetings. It's a problem, okay? The other one is representation. Do you represent the brand, the organization that you are? Yeah, you're dressing. I mean, you can't work in UBA. Let me tell you something. If you dress sharp, if you work in Hares Holdings, that's Tony Lumilu's company, yeah? And you dress well, you carry yourself well, Tony can make you his PA. He invited me to his office to have a meeting, wanted to integrate me, but I told them that I didn't want, because that's in the direction of what I wanted to. I had a meeting with him. He interviewed me to bring me to his office, but I didn't want, maybe today I'll be one of the GMs in, Hares Holdings, but that's not my direction for life, essentially, and all that. But representation, one time we interviewed a lady that we brought in, she wore a red suit. So I said, how can you wear a red suit? She knew Tony. As he saw her, he used one word, I can't say it. All right. He just said, like, correct. And all that. I knew she had gotten the job before she opened her mouth. Now, don't go somewhere and say because he worked for Tony to work for Paul. It's not true. All right. Everybody has their image of the ideal person to represent. So there's the internal in terms of your courage, executive presence. Start practicing these things. Don't be going everywhere. Don't be everywhere. You're laughing like, are you a comedian? Something wrong with you, I'm not saying you shouldn't be free, so even if I go to laugh with composure. I'm just joking though, all right? Be yourself, but you know what I'm talking about. Don't let them be seeing you everywhere. They see you in the kitchen every day. They see you in the gatehouse every day. They're everywhere. Even Satan is everywhere like you. Stop doing that. Carry yourself well. You're a person of value. All right. And then dress well for your organization. Know what representation means your company and embody it. The values that your company has. And that's how you actually begin to stand out from the crowd and you're able to move. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm through with my conversation and I'll take some questions. Eniola, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jimmy. I mean, it was such an insightful session, and I'm sure a lot of people have learned. I've been getting side comments like, wow, 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 this is just what I needed to hear and all that. So yes, thank you very much, sir, for always doing what you do best. And yes, if we still have copies of the Free from Corporate Slavery, I think I think we need to go back to it, like you said. Like you said, I think we need to go back to it. So thank you very much, sir. So now it's question time, so that we don't keep everybody waiting for too long. I'm sure you've gotten more value than you paid for. I'm so sure of that. I know.
I'm very sure of that. They need to pay you more money, please.
I'm still going to get that. So questions are welcome now. For record sakes, you can either write it down or turn on your video and unmute yourself to ask the question. Okay, so sir, I'll be asking the questions and then you can be answering. Is that fine? Okay, so someone says, how important is networking in landing management or executive roles? And what strategies can be used to build a strong professional network?
All right. I mean, I'll tell you that, like one of the lessons I've learned in business is 90% relationship, then the remaining is competence in many times. That's now you have it vary, but on the average, it's usually more than that. The same thing also, I'll tell you that. I mean, I've been in places before and someone says, I want someone to come and head this function. Do you have anybody you can recommend? It is who I remember, who has nurtured the relationship that I know has the competence and I'm likely to recommend and all those kind of things. So one thing I tell people is that you are not designed to be independent. You are designed to be interdependent. So learn the skills that allow you to be able to, build a network naturally. All right. Even if you're introverted, all right, go above shyness. And Yola knows I hate shyness. It's a demonic attack to be shy. I'm shy. I have a problem. Right. Nobody told you before. I'm telling you, you have a problem. You did deliverance, and then Yola can deliver you for 100K. All right. So, right. All right. Basically, you lack self-confidence. I know they've not told you this way. Usually, they'll be putting it for you. No, it's because you're afraid. You lack self-confidence. That's why you're shy. All right. There's a difference between being shy and being reserved. Most of the billionaires in the world are reserved people. I'll tell you that for free. All right. But when they have to make their voice heard, they do what they got to do. And then they go back to their shell after. So how to build networks? First and foremost, in today's day, you have to leverage technology to do it. I have a conference in Dallas on the 29th of April. And one of the speakers, I've never met him before. He just saw me on Felado to his Insta Live one day. Then saw me that I moved to America, sends me a message. The guy works with Pentagon and all that. And then he sends me a message and says, that he's an artificial intelligence expert. And says, that I watched you on FDs, whatever, and all that. So you're in town, it'd be great to connect. So I give him my number, and that's the thing. All this one that I don't give you my number. What is wrong with your number? How much is your number?
What's your number?
What's your number? They are your level. They are hiding your number. I'm sorry. So I don't want my number everywhere. I have two numbers. I have public number and private number. Stop hiding. Anyway, so I did that, and right now he's going to fly, and I'm flying him from Cincinnati. He's going to be at my event. He's connected with a few people. He has many Caucasian friends, and all that. Many of them are billionaires. I've been in meetings with them. He's introduced, hey, Vince, he sent me email. This is my friend Jimmy. Yeah, that met me before, but that's the thing. So technology is one of the ways you can actually do that. The good thing about it is that, can you imagine, somebody was shy online. Can you imagine, that's when there's problem. You are shy online. You can't send hello on LinkedIn to somebody, So yeah, and please find ways. The general rule of networking is give and it shall be given back to you. All right. So when you meet people, don't think about take, think about give. What can I give this person that will be valuable to them? All right. How can I engage them? And I tell people that the way to learn how to engage them is to study them. I have people that I've met online, I just studied what they are doing. I noticed that they have a pattern. This is the kind of thing they like. And I make a comment that is intelligent in that respect. Say, it's true. I agree with you. Then I noticed they're going to be checking my page. Before I know it, they have sent me a connection and all those kind of things. Yeah. You know, some of you need to pay, if you can afford it, pay for premium. You know, premium LinkedIn, you know, I know it's an extra $60 or so per month and all that, but you can send DM to some people. Now, don't use it to now harass the destiny of everybody. You are able to, you know, extend. Now, physically also, you know, go to, like I said, the principle of life. If you want lightning to strike you, go to where lightning strikes regularly, all right? So if you want to meet a kind of person, you know, like when someone met me recently, says, I want to marry, I want to marry. You're always at home, you want to marry. You're online, your profile is closed. In life, you are closed. You are making it hard for God to do miracles. Stop doing that, all right? So go out, go out. Someone says, what if I get there and I'm shy? When you get to a meeting, they don't know that you are shy. It is how you are acting that lets them know you're shy.
Yeah.
Walk up to people and say, hello, how you doing? My name is Precious. How you doing? You know, what's the worst case? They will slap you. If they slap you, stand up and arrest them. I mean, am I right? That's the worst case. Don't be afraid of what's on.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, meet people. Tara told me about how she met. I won't tell you the person, one very big woman in Nigeria. The way the woman looked at her, I'm like, who is this person? She said, we move to the next person. Don't let one person's madness stop you, your gladness. We move. Are you hearing me?
Yes,
Some people, it's their village that is disturbing them. And now because of their reaction, they now say, I don't like talking to people. Because our African culture actually, makes us to avoid rejection. We don't know how to handle rejection many times. But if you know you're going to be great, you're going to be rejected a lot, but accepted too also a lot. So don't let rejection stop you. All right? Learn how to talk to people. Read books on how to talk to people. If you go on Google and type how to talk to people, it will tell you. So start practicing.
Sure.
All right, do those basic ones. All right, let me stop there.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so another person is asking, so as an executive assistant to a DMD, that's a deputy managing director, I'm usually involved in everything the DMD does. It's sometimes a quantity over quality work. So how does she prevent burnout most times? Because I think
I'll be honest with you, certain roles come with certain realities. And if your current role is more tactical, operational, and your DMD does not give you opportunity to become a bit more strategic, you have to change DMDs very soon. I don't want to tell you, but that's the truth. You need to change DMDs. Some people are just the way they are. They actually call you executive assistant, but in their mind, you're a PA. Do you get my point? Yeah. So you have to call it what it is. And if you know they don't have the tendency or the likelihood, then you better carry your leg and move, all right, and look for the better role. Actually, executive assistants eventually can become what we call technical assistants, all right, where you start doing things like designing presentations. One of my friends, Yomewo Boku, used to work in Owando. He resumed as Wale Tinubu's EA. He became COO. He became CEO. Yes, that's what actually. So in fact, one day Wale told him, I said, "There's a meeting in London. I can't go. Go for me." He almost died, but he went and came back. I said, because he said, you are always in these meetings. You always listen. You know this thing. Go there. All right. So so I tell you that executive assistants, or another way you can handle it is that make a case for a PA or an assistant to the executive assistant. Some people don't know how to. You need to learn how to make cases and how to negotiate in an organization. Say, boss, I should be doing this for you. I should be doing this for you. You are struggling. Your PowerPoint, you're always sitting there the night before doing it. I should have even done that for you, but I cannot do that because I'm going. Can we hire somebody, an NYC person? I can do 1, 2, 3 for us. So you put that there, negotiate that. You can do that also. Those are the ways you can actually change the tide where that is concerned.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I'm sure Chinazo, I'm sure you have your answer to that. Okay, so another person is asking, what is the role of mentoring in rising to the top? And how can one find the right mentor and leverage on mentorship to grow? Because when I was speaking, I talked about mentoring as part of the skills, as part of the necessary things we need, to grow. So,
I'll tell you that I'm where I am, in many respects, because one of the keys to what progress I have is also mentoring. I've had the benefit of being mentored in many fields and all those kind of things. But mentoring is adoption, is a relationship, real mentoring. The person basically becomes vested in you. So, and that means that they must see the potential, the possibility in you, and they must like you, and all those kind of things. So when that happens, many times they will give you the shortcuts. Many times some mentors become sponsors in organizations and all that. So what I tell people is that you need to learn how to engage upwards. Mentoring is good. When, they say there are mentors and there are tormentors, you have to be careful. And the person is ahead of you does not mean they know how to mentor, because there's a skill to mentoring, all right? Some people don't. As a mentor, you have to have very strong interpersonal skills. You can't have emotional issue. Everybody always snapping at them. You can't really mentor people that way. You'll be hurt. That's why a lot of people actually get hurt by people at the top, because those people don't have the mentoring skills, to be able to do that. So, yes, explore it. I remember my first job, Ife Komoigwe was CEO of the company I worked with. She became chairman FIRS, eventually, Federal Inland Revenue Service. And I walked up to her one day and I said to her, I would like to have a conversation with you. She said, what is it, Jim? I said, I've watched somebody's sound has to be muted. Okay. It's not okay. Can you have to mute?
Yeah.
Okay. This person, I will find the person. I get distracted easily, so.
Okay. I keep
Wait, what did I say last? Sorry.
Okay, sorry, sir.
What did I say last? Anybody?
You want to see Mrs. Omoigwe?
Yeah. Thank you. So I just walked up to her and I told her, I said, like you to be a mentor and all that. She started taking me out for meetings. I remember Marina Bank, Saturday and Sunday. She started creating opportunities for me. She would call me, so Jimmy, what are you working on now? And blah, 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 blah. I mean, eventually I had to leave the company and all those kind of things. But if she sees me today, she knows me, and all those kind of things, So be careful, though. Not everybody above is a mentor. There's one guy I remember now. I was like, this guy, I wanted to mentor me. Thank God, but I entered trouble. He entered as a tormentor. So you have to be discerning also, and all that. But yes, it's very, very beneficial.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. So the next question said, what are some of the most common mistakes that people make when trying to advance their careers to management or executive positions, and how can it be avoided?
That's a question for Eniola. So Eniola, create a course. The 7 mistakes people make when trying to navigate to executive position. All right.
All right.
I mean, they're very varied, and I'm not playing Eniola.
All right, sir.
That's valid. But there are many, 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 many things and all that. But I feel that many times people are not really driven. You have to be driven to go upwards. I remember saying a plane, the force a plane uses to break up is more than what it takes to just glide.
Sure.
And so you have to be very, very intentional about going up. You have to decide. And I know a lot of people don't want to, because they don't want to be disappointed. But that's a wrong approach to life. Because every time you can succeed, you can fail. Every time. The moment you can succeed, you can fail also. So you have to put your mind on the one you want. Success, not failure. So don't look at disappointment. Look at appointment. Look at success. All right? And all that. Tell yourself in 2 years, I aspire to be this. By the time you even put it in your mind quite a bit, after a while, it becomes your second nature. Start thinking about it. Before you know, then God opens the door and the opportunities come. In that regard. I mean, all we have shared today will help you to mitigate against the mistakes people make. So I can't really say that it's all, but when Eniola does a program, which is going to be 100K, all right, you can join that program. Thank
you. All right, thank you very much, sir. So someone else is asking, how can someone create opportunity in a company or firm to get to the top? So maybe there's no current opportunity now and the person is trying to create.
No, there's always opportunity. Where there's problem, there's opportunity. Note what I said. Wherever there are problems, there's opportunity. Somebody that I heard about noticed that the receptionist just used to sit down and watch TV. So what she says, maybe the girl's name is Shade, why are you just always sitting down and all that? why don't you tell the people in accounts that you can help them to do some bookkeeping and all those kind of things? So started doing that. And she noticed that one other person also was always free and all that. She advised. Before they knew, they did the head of training. Guess who they brought? It's simple. I was just trying to, get just her. She's the one that helped me. She's the one that. So so I tell people that this chaotic, whether it's corporate America or corporate Nigeria or corporate Africa, too many opportunities. Where there's problem, the opportunities. It's just perspective, and all those kind of things. So what are the problems? What is making your MD not sleep? Let me even share a very funny story. One of my friends, Trumpville, that was the name of his real estate company then. I think it's changing now. Just to give you an idea, he was a youth couple. At least a very funny story. He resumed in this real estate company as a youth couple. And the first day that he got to work, they had a staff meeting. And what was going on? At that company, they were more of a third-party real estate company. They used to sell people to sell land, sell buildings. So they had sold some, and the money did not come in. I warned you, it's a very funny story. So, so the money was not coming in. So they were owing them a lot of money. So, and they needed to pay salary. So the MD was worried and said, guys, what can we do? What can we do? Because we sell for these vendors, they don't give us some money and all that. So everybody go home and think about what we can do and come tomorrow and all that. So this guy goes home. Now the guy is a pastor. The guy has to go and pray. So he gets to work the following day. And then everybody's sharing the thoughts and ideas. Someone just said, youth copper, any idea? He said, yes, so he said, sir, I think we need to fast and pray. The whole room burst into laughter, He said we need to fast and pray. But the MD was like, at least he got to speak. He said, well, yeah, we should fast and pray and all that. The youth copper just said, he had himself say, sir, it means you're not ready. Can you imagine? Listen to me, only the bold will go far. Say, sir, it means you're not ready. The MD just looked at him and said, you know what? We're going to fast though. Now, he prayed. Don't go to work tomorrow and tell them and fast. They might sack you. Are you together? This guy told them, and truly, I know this guy. By Friday, he said, company just started sending them money. The MD extended the fast from 3 days to 1 week. The MD now made first week of the month fasting and prayer, because that's an overextension of religion and all those kind of things. But he gave a visibility to his company. By the time now, of course, he now began to sell. He was not very good with sales. By the time he left his company, his MD gave him an estate, dashed him an estate, gave him land, bought him a Range Rover that should go and start his business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen to me. Value is what we are looking for. So whether it's fasting and prayer that brought the answer, where was I? I was at the meeting in Houston last weekend, and the lady says that her supervisor had a problem. They had tried to solve it. Nobody could solve it. And she had only 2 minutes to solve it. And she said, okay, but so I said I had the testimony years ago. Exactly. Beautiful, you see? So that affirms that. And the lady says that the boss just called and says, I have this thing to solve, and I need to solve it in 2 minutes, and all that. Any ideas of what I can do? She just says, remember that one woman that, organized Jumaka, I don't know what, was one that she used to say, when you have a problem, go and pray. She went to go and pray, and she was attending winners. Oh, you really know the person? Yes. And that's how she prayed, and she just had an idea. And she called them there and said, try this. And it worked. People are so fascinated. Double promotion. You'll be shocked. Now, not one you just pray to be. Now, let me tell you one shocking thing. There was one guy in the office, the other guy that I spoke about, they used to call that one pastor. They removed, they depastored that one and put pastor on this one. After a while, listen to me, it's value. It's not prayer. Those ones that the real thing is the value at the end of the day. Of course, do your job, if you don't know your job, prayer will not answer anything. Are we together? Know your job and provide value. Value is what will basically transform anything. And so think about value. I say it this way, value is the eye of the beholder. What does your MD, what does your divisional head, what do they consider as value? That's what you should know. It's like you're in a marriage, you don't know your love language for your spouse. You will suffer in that marriage. Your boss, the love language of your CEO might be making more money, might be great market share, might be, those kind of things, visibility. Some MDs like visibility. I say, sir, I was in this place, United Nations. I have a friend there. They said they're looking for somebody to come and speak and all those kind of things. And I told them about you. Sir, are you open to it? Oh, wow, United Nations. I'm ready. When is it? When is it? Oh, tell them to adjust my schedule. You're coming with me, yeah? That's how you start following MD around. What is value? Guys, let me stop there.
Know your value, know what you're offering, know what you're bringing to the table. What's your selling point? What's your selling proposition? It's very important. And then, of course, you can now put everything together and put it on your CV, because your CV and your LinkedIn are same first. So thank you so much, Mr. Jimmy. I don't think we have any more questions. Do we have?
The money has finished. Let's go.
Oh Lord, any more questions that we haven't answered? Okay, so I guess everybody's okay now. Your money has finished. Mr. Jimmy said your money has finished. All right, sir. So someone just asked me privately that they want to get close to you. What do they need to do? Well, that used to be my role.
That is my wife. I just kidding.
That used to be my role before. I used to be the one to tell them what to do. Should I still tell them? Should I do the usual? Like, be hard and not nice?
Talk to Eniola. Talk to Eniola.
All right. Then also, please, I know everyone here, of course, it's not just because you want to hear Mr. Jimmy, because you really desire to move from one place to the other. That's why you registered for this training. So if I'm giving, I know Mr. Jimmy will not be happy. It's okay, sir. Please forgive me.
Don't say it. So, no, I'm Eniola's mentor. If she did not tell you, so that's the reason why, and I know what she wants to do. So, hey, Eniola, hold on. Let me do my job. Your mentor, what is that for you? Eniola offers resume writing service. Guys, okay, I'm going to go out. She has told me how to go out. You are just doing testing. All right? Get and engage Eniola's CV service. Listen to me. You have to be ready. It's not the day they call for CV, you start going to try to do it. It's too late. Mm-hmm. You actually should be updating your resume yearly, annually, and those kind of things. And I know that it's a foreign thing in Nigeria to pay for CV. Can you just help to adjust? There's no can you just, it is value that's being added, and there was a value exchange. So Eniola is not giving a discount, all right? You will do CV. Some of you, your LinkedIn is like the desert of Sahara. Okpeyemi does an amazing job. Your LinkedIn is not linking. So you need to update your LinkedIn. She offers LinkedIn services. Go and pay the full amount. All right? If you can't pay the full amount, offer her money and another value. Send her perfume, but don't price her. That's all I'm going to say. And please, I beg you. All right? Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much, sir. Someone said, I know different countries have different style of CV. Oh, well, not really. I think they're just templates that, works.
There's actually there's actually something about that. So essentially they're templates and all that. So the content is pretty much the same. It's arrangement. So that's what she said, the templates and all that. So for the UKS, the way we write our CV in Nigeria is chronological. Do you get my point? Some people even start their CV with secondary school. I'm like, are you okay? At what level? Do you get my point? So that's why we are telling people and all that, get someone to write your CV and all that. So if you're in the UK, you can talk to her. She will make sure that, she's able to, because I'm sure she's helping with their CV that got the jobs abroad also and all those kind of things. Yes.
America, Canada, everywhere basically. It's just the template and the information, like Mr. Jimmy has said, that is important. So yes, you can reach me. My email address is eniola@mecconsults.com.
Please type it in the comment section.
Yes, so eniola@mecconsults.com. So you can reach out to me, send me a copy of what you have, and then we can talk about it, and then your LinkedIn profile name as well. I wish you all the best. You know, I believe that everyone here would move from where they are to, you know, the next career step they are open to. It's not a prayer point, it's value and it's the work you put in. So if you have any more questions, you can put it now or forever.
Adela, you can answer the questions. I'm going. Your money has finished.
All
Bye.
right, Mr. Jimmy, thank you very
Bye,
much, sir.
everybody. Thank you.
I'll reach out. Thank you so much. Everybody say thank you to Mr. Jimmy. It's been a very interesting session. I've had fun. I've learned a lot. I've learned and learned and learned and learned, and I'm still learning, you know. And I really do hope that everyone here has learned one or two things, you know, and, you know, we're going to take active steps towards moving to the executive or managerial roles. It's not small work. So don't assume you're going to just jump on it and and then get it anyhow. No, one of the major issues people have in moving to this step is because you underestimate yourself. They call it imposter syndrome. Yes, because you feel, who am I? How can I do this and all that? Everyone can do that as long as you have value and all that. So yes, thank you very much. I'll be hoping to hear from you. Yeah, so that's the end of our session today.